Yo, chat, what's good, everybody? You know, been going for a little bit, but I was kind of pondering over the fact of which video I wanted to do. I was split between my Blue Lock second selection rankings, which will be coming out soon, and talking about this, the Jujutsu Kaisen drama that's going on right now. So let's just get right into it. Let's not waste any time, 'cause there's a lot to talk about. First, to even summarize what I'm talking about, right? So recently, Gege got interviewed, right? He got interviewed, or it was a Q&A, and he confirms that the biggest factor for Gojo's defeat is that Gojo let his guard down, right? Now, the reason why this is causing so much drama is because, you know, to people in the Jujutsu Kaisen community, this new statement is basically saying that Gojo is stronger than Sukuna, right? We'll get onto that a little later. Let me read it out for y'all exactly. So it goes like this: after defeating Mahoraga, Gojo thought that Sukuna had no way to bypass his infinity anymore. I think that the usual Gojo would have sensed that something was amiss and could have avoided a fatal wound. So people recently have interpreted this statement as Gojo being stronger than Sukuna, right? So there's a few things I definitely want to talk about with this statement. First, the fact that people are still having this debate if Gojo is stronger than Sukuna at all is like crazy to me, right? Because it's been a while right now, and you would think people would have this debate settled up, but there's a lot of people that aren't like, you know, super well known, that don't know how to scale and don't know how to, actually read into the narrative properly, right? Now, we'll say this statement does help Gojo, but it's not in the way most people think, right? So, with this statement, from a power scaling perspective, this statement would only get him above any form of Sukuna that's not Meguna, right? And I'll explain further on that in a second. But um, let's read close into why I'm saying that, right? So I'll read the statement again. Gojo thought that Sukuna had no way to bypass his infinity anymore. I think that the usual Gojo would have sensed that something was amiss and could have avoided a fatal wound. So if he did, first of all, it kind of confirms if Sukuna didn't have Mahoraga, he wouldn't have had anything to bypass his affinity. So that's already given Gojo a win count over Sukuna just in general, right? So that's kind of that confirmation we get that, okay, Sukuna needs Mahoraga to bypass affinity, so that was a must. And 10 Shadows was a must for him to win that fight, right? So as far as that goes down, any form that doesn't have 10 Shadows would either be obsolete or just incompetent to Gojo. Besides maybe his true form, probably. But regardless, he wouldn't have World Cutting Slash. So that's all that helps Gojo with. But my problem is people are blowing it out of proportion and saying, oh, well, we always knew Gojo was stronger than Sukuna, and we always knew Gojo was better than Sukuna, right? So that is my issue, right? Let me explain something. This statement does not change a single thing that happened in the manga. It does not change the fact that Meguna is still over Gojo, right? And I'll explain this. Because Gojo Gojo letting his guard down is something that's not like it's not like a flaw, right? Like it's not like a flaw. Sukuna outplayed Gojo. Again, you don't always win a fight with just straight brute strength. You have to outplay your opponent. So Gojo let his guard down against Meguna, right? He let his guard down against Meguna and got chopped in half, right? He got chopped in half. So while I'm saying this wouldn't be an issue, or this wouldn't get him, or just because he let his guard down wouldn't get him higher than Meguna, is because Meguna made that opening. That's not like something distracting him. Meguna made that opening. He had already had his plan filled out with Mahoraga, even when Mahoraga was destroyed. So again, it's like, right, if you take this into a formal debate, you could put Sukuna up against Gojo every time, and if you could just follow the events that happen, Gojo would always still lose. It doesn't matter if he's stronger or faster than Sukuna. If Sukuna can win by other means, he'd still be stronger than him. But I will say the statement does confirm a few things. That Gojo is stronger than Sukuna without 10 shadows. That is the only thing it confirms. This is confirming that Sukuna did need 10 shadows to beat Gojo. But as far as Meguna goes, the same events would still follow and he would still win. That's just the simple facts. But the Jujutsu Kaisen community is literally going crazy with the fact that, oh, we told y'all Gojo's stronger than Sukuna, this, that, and the third. It's like, you're wrong, and we need to stop pushing this because it's really slow, right? I feel like anybody in their right mind knows that Meguna is still above Gojo, regardless, because he has the World Cutting Slash. in character, Gojo would just let his guard down every time Maharaga's dead, so Sukuna just has that wink on. He would just win. It's just that simple. And it's just I had to make a video on it because people are blowing this way out of proportion. They're pushing it way too far. They're giving Gojo way too much credit. He's than he should have right now. And don't get me wrong, Gojo's strong fighter, great character, but let's truly face the facts. He lost that fight, and he is weaker than Meguna. Again, his true form and maybe his 20 fingers without like 10 shadows, yes, Gojo would most likely beat him. But people thinking that he just beats him just because he was off guarded. Yes, Sukuna made that opening. He made that off guard. Like we can't just give Gojo that excuse. Like, come on, bro. Like that's glaze. That's just glaze, right? Because Gojo thought he was Dante and just thought he was going to regenerate or something because he let his guard down. That was his first mistake. That was his first mistake, being cocky and not just staying on guard. He could have avoided a fatal hit. That is his own doing. That is his own doing. Don't let anybody tell you that he was like super off guarded. No, Gojo made himself an opening because he underestimated Sukuna, and that is the biggest issue. This is a proper fight that shows that strength, speed, fucking cursed energy, and all the potential in the world can't save you from somebody that's smarter and more cunning than you. And that's just what that fight was. It was just Gojo being outplayed. Literally, Gege made it look like Gojo was beating him the entire fight. But it's really clear to us that Sukuna is just a more cunning and smarter fighter. So in the narrative and in character, Sukuna would just always beat Gojo off of that one move because he would always let his guard down, right? So that's honestly all I wanted to talk about today. This is going to be a really short video. I just wanted to get this out there to talk about the Jujutsukaisen propaganda that's going around if Gojo is the strongest again and if he's stronger than Sukuna, which I will answer this question. And the answer is no. He's not the strongest. I mean, if you want to compare him to other forms of Sukuna, that's fine. Sure, the Sukuna doesn't have one count against him. But if we're talking about 20 finger Meguna, yeah, no, he loses that. Like, unfortunately, he loses that. And don't get me wrong, I'm a Gojo fan, bro. I would love for Gojo to win. But I'm not just gonna be fallacious and just like start acting like I don't know what I'm talking about, just blatantly lying. But yeah, no, that's just all. I want to talk about how the Jujutsu community just needs to get better at reading more into their narrative and their scaling. It's actually kind of upsetting because I've been seeing everything on TikTok, social media. It's like we have to learn. He still is losing to Tony Finger Meguna. But that's pretty much all for this video. If you liked it, I'd appreciate it if you subbed up, like the video, comment your thoughts and everything like that. And I will see you guys in the next one, which will be Blue Lock second selection rankings, if I'm not mistaken. So I will see you guys next time. Peace.